Hey everyone, it's Byron again. I'm here to testify for Jesus Christ. I want to go over something that occurred last night. I had a dream, and the dream is going to lead us to a topic. The topic is awesome, in my opinion, and my opinion matters because I've experienced this firsthand. And let me just go through things. The Lord has shown me over the course of time that our ministries are vehicles, like cars, trucks, etc. But you could say that a ministry, your specific ministry, is your vehicle for touching the world. So if you think of it from that context, you can kind of understand where I'm coming from when I say a ministry is a vehicle to which you contact those people in the world that God has you contact. Last night in a dream, I was putting together a car engine. That was my job, is to assemble a car engine and to ship it off. But there was one thing missing from I didn't do right, and I didn't connect a hose. Hoses on cars are some hoses are used for cooling the engine, some hoses are used for power steering, some hoses are used for various other things. But the point is, I thought that, man, there's something I'm missing here, and I was in the conversation with a person today. I shared the dream with the person, and the first thing that came to that person's mind is faith. And I want to go through a little bit about faith. And to preface that, I'm going to tell you something it's very easy for each of us to think something is easy until we ourselves begin to try it. For an example, you can have a supervisor at work and you can think in your mind, well, if I was in his position, I would do this, or if I was in this position, I would do that. But when you get put into the position, you realize, man, this is a heavier load than I expected. And Jesus tells us to take up our cross daily. And a cross was heavy even for Jesus. And I believe Jesus said, let this cup pass from me. He was speaking of the weight and the fact that he was having to go to his death. His cross was extremely heavy because he was laying down his life for his friends, but he was also human in the flesh. And it's like, man, my flesh wants to hang on. I don't want to die, but I got to go through with it. You can see the weight that it was so heavy on Jesus. He said he sweated as if it were blood. Um, so if you take faith and you realize, well, I need to exercise faith in order to be to get this power plant, this engine, this vehicle rolling at maximum power or torque. Think of it like, my faith is a substance. I've got to do something to demonstrate that I have faith. So I'm gonna change this faith into a substance. That is a physical act. Jesus did when he voluntarily went to the cross. Your job, I don't know people's ministries. My job is to um, contact people, inform them of the things that are coming on the United States, and also show them um, the truth and the errors that are being taught around them. So as you begin to think, well, I'm going to go forward with my ministry and do what I believe the Lord has called me to do, or do what the Lord has called me to do, you have to realize that the closer you get to doing it, the more heavy the load will feel. For an example, if you were to have never done a video and you get to the first video that you're trying to do, I'm telling you, you're like, oh my gosh, what are they going to think, etc., etc. The weight just starts piling up on you. And I want to use an example from the Bible to show you how the weight of something could have drowned people. But when they demonstrated their faith, or they turned their belief into that substance of movement, such as you would need to do to contact somebody for Christ, etc., that's when the power kicked in. If you could just imagine a dragster on a drag strip right now, and just when that green light hits, boom, he rolls. Think about that as I tell this story. In the Bible, the children of Israel were getting ready to cross the Jordan. The Jordan was a river between the wilderness experience that they've had and also the promised land that they were going to. Just on the other side of the river was Jericho. But they had to cross the river. The priests who were carrying a heavy load, the ark, they were carrying it on poles. Their instruction was to take this ark and walk through the Jordan River. But they were told when your feet touch the water, that's when the water will divide. Here we go. I start crying and stuff. What you need to realize is that until you turn your vehicle, your ministry, your purpose on this earth, till you turn the action on, the water may never divide. But when you do turn it into action, you will be amazed at what God can and will do to assist you in carrying your cross, your burden. They carried the ark into the Jordan River. The Jordan River parted as their feet hit that. And I got a little picture here to demonstrate. You may look, and between you and, I just use the example of your first video, or, between you and your first video, there's all kinds of obstacles. There's anxiety. There's, well, am I good enough? Are people going to accept me? Or what will they think? Will people criticize me? There's all kinds of things out there. But turn that faith that you claim into action, into a substance. Because Hebrews says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for. And in Hebrews, if you look in there, there's all kinds of people turning their ideas, or they're carrying their crosses and making things happen. But most of the things that happen are also accompanied by supernatural acts of God. And I'm telling you, the only reason that I'm alive today is a supernatural act of God. The only reason I can bring forth a video today is that God saw to it that I didn't die in my old ways. I'm serious, man, and that's the same for you. No matter, I may have a more horrible past than you, or you may have beat me in being bad in the past, but it doesn't matter, because if you're turning your engine on and you're beginning to move, the power of God can move through your life, no matter what the past is. It says if anyone be in Christ, he is a new creature. All things become new. Behold, old things are passed away and all things become new. So if that substance, the faith, if that's what I was not hooking up to the engines for people, I want to just share this video. And if that's what you're looking for, man, I'm telling you, if you are up to a point where you realize I got to take that step, but that step is into a part that it just seems dangerous. It's like, if I step into this river and the water doesn't part, I'm going to drown because I got this load on my back. I'm carrying my cross. Exercise your faith. Move out, soldier. Draw fire. That's what we used to say in the military. Move out and draw fire. If you wonder what that is, that's like, we're looking for this sniper. We don't know who he is. We're looking for these people that are shooting at us. We don't know who they are. Dude, you move out. You draw fire. We'll see them when they shoot. We're going to shoot them. That's a whole nother story. I don't even know why I said that, other than that phrase came up. But you move out and you see if God doesn't show up and make things happen. So anyway, that's the video for today. Thanks.